What's up, guys? We got another news dump for you because it's Saturday.
Yeah, so the two most news dumpiest stories this week have to do with some pretty awkward shit that happened during the Avengers Age of Ultron press tour leading up to the movie's release.
Yeah, first off, during an interview with UK Channel 4's Krishnan Guru Murphy, Robert Downey Jr. got a little more than he asked for when the subject of conversation became less about the movie he was promoting and more about the fact that he spent a good chunk of the 90s on drugs and in jail.
Yeah, I mean, you should read his Wikipedia past. The guy was on a fucking bender for like a decade there.
He turned it all around.
Yeah,
he's very successful and a very good guy.
Yeah, he's put that period of his life behind him, not just by getting off drugs and staying out of trouble, but also by becoming the highest paid actor in Hollywood and probably the most beloved actor in Hollywood. Yeah. So it's understandable that he wouldn't want to talk about all that dumb shit from his younger days while trying to promote a project where he's basically like an idol for a bunch of kids and adults.
Yeah, people change, all right?
Yeah.
But as much as he tried to steer the conversation back to the Avengers, Channel 4 dude just wouldn't let it go, using his time slot to press RDJ about some quote he said years ago about how being in prison changed his political views.
Yeah, so this look right here of barely contained bewilderment and anger on RDJ's face is just fucking classic, and it will surely be used for years to come in the form of GIF replies on social media. He repeatedly tries to remind the guy that they're here to talk about the movie, but eventually he just decides, fuck this, I'm out, and tells the guy that this is just a little too Diane Sawyer for him.
Well, what's actually amazing is that Channel 4 keeps sending this dude to interview celebrities when he has a history of train wreck interviews like this one. Back in 2013, when talking to Quentin Tarantino about Django Unchained, he decided to use his time to instead ask Quentin whether he thought the violence in his movies had a negative influence on audiences, which pissed Quentin Tarantino off a whole lot since he's been answering that question for like 20 years.
Yeah, there's actually a great interview where he actually does answer that question to some like local movie critic.
Yeah.
And just tears her a new asshole, figuratively. Anyway, the other awkward moment from the Avengers press tour happened during an interview between Digital Spy and actors Jeremy Renner and Chris Evans, when the interviewer asked them what they thought about the fact that a lot of people wanted a romance between Black Widow and one of their characters, but in the new movie it turns out her love interest is Bruce Banner.
Renner jokingly replied, "She's a slut," and Evans called her a, quote, complete whore. And you kind of see where this is going. The internet just found its latest public enemies #1. Twitterverse and Tumblr and all the other parts of the internet with too much time on their hands came down on these guys real hard for their apparently sexist, misogynistic remarks that were not clearly sarcastic at all.
Nope, they were dead serious. Anyway, so they both apologized. Evans told USA Today, "Yesterday we were asked about the rumors that Black Widow wanted to be in a relationship with both Hawkeye and Captain America. We answered in a juvenile and offensive way that rightfully angered some fans. I regret it and sincerely apologize."
And Renner told USA Today, "I am sorry that this tasteless joke about a fictional character offended anyone. It was not meant to be serious in any way, just poking fun during an exhausting and tedious press tour."
I like Renner's response here is just like way...
Like you're talking about fictional stuff.
You could just see his eyes rolling while he's apologizing. Yeah. So yeah, okay, fine, yeah, calling women sluts and whores isn't something that you should do, but obviously it was a joke.
Let's talk about the Muppets instead. Yeah. That's good. Good old kind Muppets, nothing going wrong with those guys.
Who doesn't like Muppets?
I don't know. That new Muppets TV show has a few more details that have been let out, and it sounded like it could be cool.
Yeah, so ABC's official synopsis reads, "The Muppets return to primetime with a contemporary documentary-style show that, for the first time ever, will explore the Muppets' personal lives and relationships, both at home and at work, as well as romances, breakups, achievements, disappointments, wants, and desires. A more adult Muppet show for kids of all ages."
Miss Piggy's a slut!
She's a whore!
Spoiler alert!
She's a whore!
So basically it'll be like The Office or Parks and Recs and feature confessional-style interviews and lots of breaking the third wall to glare at the camera. I'm sure that it will be Kermit's #1 move. Anyways, this whole thing is still in the early stages and the current order is only for a pilot, but hopefully it's good enough to make it to air because it sounds like something we'd both be super interested in.
Yeah, I love the Muppets.
Yep.
The old Muppet show from like the 80s is classic television, and I think taking the idea and sort of updating it to current sitcom aesthetic. Great idea.
Good.
Yeah. Also this week was CinemaCon out in Las Vegas. CinemaCon is basically an industry-wide event put on by the National Association of Theater Owners that lets all the major studios present what their upcoming releases are going to be so that the theaters can decide which ones they're going to buy so they can screen and which ones to pass on when the time comes.
Yeah, the studios show off a lot of exclusive unseen footage at these things and make announcements about release dates and all that stuff, but it's all behind closed doors, so none of that footage really makes it onto the internet.
Yeah, but plenty of journalists attend CinemaCon and write about what they saw, so let's go through some of the highlights.
First off, Warner Brothers showed off footage from its upcoming remake of Point Break, and they were kind enough to invite us out there to check it out, except we didn't go, and we sent our producer/editor, Maddie, instead.
Maddie, get over and tell us about Point Break.
First off, how was Vegas?
Vegas was really cool.
Okay, that's enough. Talk about Point Break.
Point Break, I'm a huge fan of the original Point Break. I was born and raised in Hawaii, so Point Break in Hawaii means a lot. Keanu Reeves, he's a god. Patrick Swayze, rest in peace. The new one, I gotta say, it could be really exciting. Could be like here's what it could be. It could be Fast and Furious if they understand what they're doing with the action and what kind of movie they're making. But most likely it'll just be a dumb action sports
It's not
movie.
Surfing anymore, right? It's extreme sports.
It is surfing, and they go to Chopu in Maui, which is a huge surfing spot, which is awesome, which is bigger waves than they had in the original Point Break. And Laird Hamilton is still the surfing advisor, which is awesome. But they're also including snowboarding in this one, and they're including skydiving, windsuit jumping.
It's California Games, the movie.
All right.
Pretty much, yeah. It's Red Bull the movie.
Anyway, Warner also showed off some footage of another old property that they're trying to bring back, Vacation. And the general consensus is that it looks pretty damn funny, actually, and it's absolutely gonna be a nice, hard R raunchy comedy.
I'm so happy to hear this. Yeah. They're making it as raunchy as fuck. There hasn't been a good raunchy hard R comedy in a while. Get Hard was pretty raunchy.
Yeah,
I want to see more comedies like this.
Yeah.
Anyway, Paramount showed off a bunch of footage from Terminator Genesis that was basically extended versions of what we already seen in the trailers. And the general consensus for that was that it looks like it will make a lot of money.
Yeah, that makes people happy.
There was no qualitative analysis of it. It was just like,
yeah, it'll probably make a lot.
People will see this and they will make sequels to it.
Yeah.
So I don't think this movie's gonna be good, but
whatever.
They'll probably make more of them.
They also showed off images of Bebop and Rocksteady from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, and we're both very curious as to what the hell they look like.
Oh, another tidbit about TMNT. It wasn't from CinemaCon, but everyone's favorite actor, Madea himself, Tyler Perry.
Who was great in Gone Girl, by the way.
He was great in Gone Girl.
He got cast in Ninja Turtles 2, so there you go.
Anyway, Paramount also showed off a bunch of footage from Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, and they showed off what sounds like a pretty awesome behind-the-scenes segment that shows that Tom Cruise did, in fact, actually run up the side of that plane's wing while it was taking off. Which
that's crazy.
He said he was scared shitless the whole time.
That power of Xenu, though, overcomes all.
Yeah.
At Universal CinemaCon panel, they revealed that, shocker, there is going to be another Fast and Furious movie following the massive success of the one currently in theaters, and that'll actually be coming out in April of 2017, so not too far away, 2 years.
But you already knew that if you watched yesterday's daily story on Machinima's main channel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They also showed off Guillermo del Toro's new horror movie, Crimson Peak, which is a sort of haunted house story starring Tom Hiddleston and Jessica Chastain that sounds pretty damn creepy.
Yeah.
People are saying that it looks to be the scariest thing Del Toro has ever made.
Pretty high praise.
Yeah.
Sony gave people a look at the first trailer for Goosebumps, which stars Jack Black as R.L. Stine, and sounds like it's gonna be sort of like a Night at the Museum style franchise, but who knows, but they can make a bunch of movies out of all these properties.
Yeah, it's basically like he has this box that's locked and it has all of his stories in it, but some kids open the box and then the stories get out. And they gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
So there you go. They also showed off a trailer for The Fifth Wave, which is the upcoming movie series based on the young adult novel starring Chloe Moretz and featuring our good friend Micah Monroe from It Follows. It's about an apocalyptic alien invasion. It sounds actually really dark for a young adult franchise, but
kids are growing up so fast these days, they can take it.
Yeah.
Sony, of course, also announced their new animated Spider-Man project from the Lego Movie guys, but if you watch our ETC Daily from Thursday, you already knew that too, so yeah, there you go.
And Disney just straight up had a screening of the entire movie Inside Out from Pixar, which seems to have been pretty well received, and they also showed off this ridiculous slate of movies coming out for the next 2 years, which basically is a great visual representation of how much fucking money they're going to be making.
And finally, we're coming up on the end of April. You know what that means? A bunch of shit is leaving Netflix, and a bunch of new shit is going to take its place.
And as always, most of what's coming and going is garbage, but there are some great gems in there, so let's just talk about those.
So before May 1st, we recommend watching all of the following before they disappear.
Airplane!
Along Came Polly, but just skip to the Philip Seymour Hoffman parts.
Basketball, the classic film from Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
RoboCop, the original one.
Yeah, not the stupid remake. And then this movie Romancing the Stone, which was a Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner movie from the 80s. I watched it a whole bunch as a kid. Great movie.
Weird movie to watch as a kid. And then May 5th, Skyfall disappears. So.
Yeah, but then of course we got a bunch of new movies in place of the ones leaving, and there seems to be a pattern here over the last few months. Not much good shit is coming to Netflix.
They're spending too much money on original programming and not enough in acquiring it.
Yeah.
Aside from Inglourious Bastards coming to Netflix on May 22nd, we haven't really heard of any of the stuff or totally hate what they've put on here.
There is a bunch of reality TV shows getting new seasons.
That.
Hoarders get a new season.
They just put a bunch of new Bourdain on there. They put Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives on there. So, you know, there's lots of time wasters on there. That's
Get
good.
your movies out of the way before the month ends, and then just binge on a bunch of reality.
You know what they put up that I really liked? They Came Together. The David Wayne movie.
Oh, I didn't notice that on the list.
Yeah, Paul Rudd and, well, I don't know if it went up like a month or two ago, but it was really good, so watch that. And that's it for News Dump. We actually switched around, so Oscar, obviously the podcasts usually go up on Sunday, but we put up Oscar Isaac on Friday because we were just really excited to get it out. So it's already up. You can go watch it right now. Click here to watch the Oscar Isaac podcast. Then check out the Nick Kroll one, and also check out the completely stupid gaming news show Tugs.
Yeah.
It's really bad this week.
Yeah, it's a train
Let
wreck.
Obama know that he has to cancel it.
Yeah. There's a change.org petition to stop this show.
And we're dead serious.
Yeah. We'll kill it.